everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, I have another project to share with you. We're going to make a masculine card for Dad. We have some new items that arrived at Simon Says Stamp Shop, part of their Celebrate release. This was super unique. This is a background stamp. It's a clear background stamp, and it's called Organic Leaves. The print on here is just unique, and I thought it'd be great for a masculine card, and we're going to do a little watercoloring with this. I also have the Fancy Father die. This die set is perfect for Dad, so I thought we'd put these two together to create a card today. So this is, let's go ahead and separate these. I mentioned that we're going to be doing some watercoloring, so I'm bringing in my stamping positioner and my stamp here. For some reason I kept thinking this was a cling stamp, but it's not. It is a clear and let's go ahead and remove it. Okay, I'm going to stamp on some, maybe we should use some watercolor cardstock today. I'm going to bring in my Canson XL watercolor cardstock. It's a nice heavy weight. This pack here has 30 sheets. Simon sells this. I'm going to trim down an A2 panel with this. Okay, I trimmed down my panel of my Canson XL watercolor cardstock. I'm going to be using the smooth side. So I'm going to add some adhesive on the reverse side here. I'm going to place it on my stamp image here. And then I'm going to bring my MISTI to the back. This way I know it's beautifully covered. I'm going to press down really good. I'm going to use my Simon Says Stamp white pigment ink for this. Only because my Versamark is I need to re-ink it. But I'm going to go over my image. And then we are going to stamp this. I'm probably going to stamp it a few times. We're going to be heat embossing it, so and these are pretty solid images, so I want to make sure I have full coverage. I went over my image with my white embossing powder. We're going to use the heat gun and melt it. So my panel is nice and melted. Okay, I'm bringing in my Stamp and Stencil mat. And I'm thinking I can use this for watercoloring. Maybe a big mistake, but I just want to be able to turn it. And I think this is going to work out great. Now we're going to watercolor with Distress Oxide inks. I have Prize Ribbon, Fossilized Amber, and Peeled Paint. Okay, we're going to add, let's just do one color at a time. So I'm going to add my Peeled Paint. I'm going to add some water. And I'm thinking maybe I should kind of spread this water out a little bit. Okay, and then we can add some color here. The sections are closed in. Technically, these are the negative sections of the leaves, but I think this is going to turn out to be a really nice pattern. I'm going to do this, play some music while I do it, and then I'll speed up the video for you guys so you don't have to sit through the entire thing. And when I'm done coloring, I will be right back. went in and my paper is really super saturated. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to go over the white areas of our stamp and clean it up a little bit. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and die cut out our greeting. Now while that panel is drying, I'm going to take my father and I'm going to die cut this out. And then I have a panel of dark blue cardstock. We are going to go ahead and adhere this to the front of an A2 size card base. And then with the shadow, I'm going to die cut this out with, should we go white? Maybe, and then for my shadow, I'm going to use some Spellbinders Alabaster cardstock. This is Spellbinders Indigo. Okay, we're going to run these through. I went ahead and die cut out 3 of the Indigo Fancy Fathers. And I just went and stacked them all together to create a little bit of dimension for my greeting. We'll just stack them together and then we'll layer them on our shadow. It looks really pretty. Wonderful. Now I went ahead and sped up the drying process on my background panel and I trimmed 1/4 inch off all around. Okay, this way I can mat it on my card front. I do want to take a damp towel and go over the embossed area just to remove some of that watercolor. And I just think that's a pretty unique pattern. I think it could be masculine or feminine, however you look at it, because of the print. If you were to use some pinks and purples, I think that would be beautiful. I think I'm going to trim a little bit more off of here. I'm going to trim it 1/4 more. Okay, so I ended up taking 1/4 inch off of each side, just so we have a little bit more showing here. You know, I think I might mat it on yellow. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to mat this on some Spellbinders Tuscan cardstock. Just so a little bit's peeking out. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. And then we'll pop this up with some foam tape. This is Simon Says Stamps foam tape. And the nice thing about this is the release paper removes so easy. You don't have to fuss with it at all. In the center here, I'll add some foam tape behind my greeting. I was going to do landscape, but maybe we should do portrait. I think we're going to end up going portrait. I want to add a little texture behind here, so I have some gold wire. If you have gold thread, you could use that. And this is just beading wire. And I'm going to put it right behind my greeting. Making sure the ends are tucked on that foam tape. I think that looks really nice. Look at against the dark cardstock, you can kind of see it. That's the back side. We're going to tack this down. Lovely. And then I'm going to bring in some Simon Says Stamp Zest embellishments. And we're going to add a little bit of, just add a little extra here. And last but not least, I'm going to go over my father with my glaze and glue. If you have glossy accents, you can use that. Glaze and glue is just a little bit thinner than glossy accents. And that finishes off my card today. My card today is actually for an Instagram hop. Simon Says Stamp is celebrating the Celebrate release with an Instagram hop and a giveaway. There's lots of inspiration. I hope we can join us. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.